This is one of those situations that I'm just left scratching my head at why it was even brought up in the first place other than just to hear yourself talk. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I am wearing my Super Daddy-O shirt today in honor of being a gamer dad because I love video games and I love my kids. And I've learned that there are some people out there, like Alanah Pearce, based off of her Twitter posts, who don't have kids, that are trying to speak for people that do have kids as to how games need to be created by developers with those people in mind so that they can have their kids and play the games too. And I'm over here saying, stop it. We don't need this. This all comes up from a OhNoItsAlexx video that was just completely flabbergasted at how Alanah handled a situation. And I'm somebody who actually really respects and enjoys Alanah's takes. Typically, I think I've covered her a few times in the past on this channel, and typically there's not too much of an issue there. She's a very respected figure in the video game industry and has been for a while now, but this take that she had just ain't it. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down OhNoItsAlexx and Alanah Pearce's take on gaming as a parent and how, according to Alanah, apparently it's now a disability, which OhNoItsAlexx definitely took issue with, as I am going to as well, because I have so much to say about this situation. Balancing the roles of being a parent and a gamer in the modern era is a challenging endeavor, to say the least. The demands of parenting require constant attention, adaptability, patience, all while video games are over there just waiting to be played. And oftentimes, you just can't because of life priorities, aka your kids need to be taken to school, need to be picked up, need to have lunch made, dinner made, breakfast made, bring them to camp, bring them to soccer, bring them to gymnastics, bring them to this, bring them to that, do this with them, play with them, do that. Like, there's so many things that I do personally to be a part of my kids' lives that video games always take a back seat to that. Alanah made a video that was about 17.5 minutes long talking about how Elden Ring DLC is too hard, and then in parentheses saying it's not, and goes on a seemingly unplanned rant about gaming difficulty and how disabilities play a part in this and how game developers need to respect the disabilities of gamers and keep that in mind while they're creating the game to make the best, most beneficial experience for gamers out there everywhere. And I would say, on the surface, sure, sounds great. In reality, it completely falls apart.
And they were like, oh, we maybe did make this too hard. Okay, our bad, which is super interesting. But there are things about this that, oh my god, I have so many opinions. This video is going to turn out so messy.
Elden Ring is one of those games that's on my wish list. Not because I can't afford it and I'm waiting for a sale, but because I don't know when I'm going to have the time to play it. I know the style of game it is, FromSoft, and I love those games. Before I had kids, I was all about Kingsfield, even Dark Souls for a little bit. And then I started having kids and everything took a back seat. Specifically when it came to these style of games, because I just knew how much effort and focus was required for them. I'm not saying that as a parent you can't play these games. I'm just saying for me in particular, I knew I wasn't able to dedicate the amount of focus needed in order to enjoy the experience to the amount that I'd like to. So instead of trying to play it and fight through that, I just decided to pass on it until I could find the time in the future. And in place of that, I found other games that were more fitting for my lifestyle. I'm not able to really play Call of Duty online games anymore. I'm not able to play Destiny and that kind of stuff. And these are types of games that I used to play all the time before I had kids. But once that transition happened, when I played games that didn't really have a pause button or were always online and you just couldn't step away, I realized family comes first, and these games, as great as they are, don't need to be changed to fit to my needs.
I just feel like it would solve a lot of this conversation. It's really not about asking Miyazaki, FromSoft, to make the game easier where accessibility is concerned. It's about allowing more people to play it.
There are so many games out there, and not every single game needs to be made for every single person. I think that's what's so special about gaming instead of taking the approach of, oh, these games are good, but you know what would be better is if we could make the market even bigger, expose it even more to everyone else, and sell it to even more people and make even more money. When in reality, once you start doing that as a developer, oftentimes it falls apart because you lose the core audience that cared about it, and the people you expanded it to never cared about it in the first place.
There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long-term disabilities, there are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid.
But this is the reason why I wanted to make the videos right here. I feel like Alanah went off course so often with this that she could have probably benefited from using a script, or at least organizing her thoughts, because she often contradicted herself throughout the video, and then it reached a peak once she started talking about the story about the kid with a fork walking over to a socket.
You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. It is a situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket, a power outlet.
OhNoItsAlexx had a perfect response to this, where he was just incredulous. Like, how could you even say that? That doesn't even apply to what reality is.
Ah! Oh! Oh, no! No! No, 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 no. No, no. There is no shot. There is no shot. You sat here, said that, recorded it, edited the video, uploaded it, and thought to yourself, yup! That'll do it!
As a parent, I would never even consider holding a controller in my hand and seeing a 3-year-old walk in front of me with a fork walking over to a socket and being like, oh man, I wish I could pause my game right now. Like, the implications of the idea of that are just so beyond bonkers to me that I don't even have words for it. How could you even say that? Like, yes, I'm sure I've seen the news. There are some really terrible parents out there, and not everyone's going to have the best in mind for their kids. I get that. And it's really tragic. It really is that there are people out there that are parents that don't care about their kids, don't treat them well, or would let them walk around with a fork in front of them while they're playing this game. But the point being is, game developers should not be worried about terrible parents. Like, that's the last thing that should be on their mind. And while Alanah talks about a lot of things in this video outside of this, the thing about the kids being the problem and how this is now a disability really struck a chord with me. I saw people sharing this chart on replies in the Twitter talking about permanent, temporary, and situational disabilities. And it goes to touch, see, hear, and speak, talking about how touch is situational with a new parent because they could be holding a kid while, in this case, playing a video game with their controller in their hand, and it could be distracting to them. And game developers need to keep this in mind for some reason for Elden Ring. Like, I would get it if it's like a more casual game that maybe a new parent would be playing while their kid's trying to fall asleep in their arms. And hell, if you are a new parent and you're playing Elden Ring while your kid's falling asleep in your arms, more power to you. I would never be able to do that. I'm sure there are people out there that can. But the point being is, the developers should not be worried about this. This is not the developer's responsibility. This all comes down to the responsibility of the individual. And it's almost like we've reached a point in society where games have gotten to the point where responsibility doesn't fall on the right people because they're trying to make more sales. And it's not about that. It's not about the developers making the games in tune for the parents. It's about the parents finding the games that fit their lifestyle as they carry through the ages of their kids. AKA, I know this is a foreign word for a lot of people, accountability. Be accountable as a parent. Make the right choices that fit your lifestyle to reach the optimum level of happiness in the moment that you're in, while also thinking long-term about your life. I get it. It's all a delicate balance, and it's easier for some than others. And I'm not trying to make light of parenthood, by the way. I would argue raising kids in society this day and age might be the hardest it's ever been. Between the rising costs, inflation, insane prices for everything you do, and then both parents most likely needing to work and then trying to afford a nanny to watch the kids while you're at work, balancing all that, paying that, usually under the table after your income is taxed. It's a complete shit show. It really is. And my heart goes out to new parents right now. But I went through it. My wife went through it when we were raising our kids. We made it through it. It sucked for a long time. And it still sucks sometimes now. Financially, it's always a challenging burden. But it's not something that I regret. Like, I've never been happier than when I've had kids. So yes, it is a blessing that I'm so grateful for, but at the same time, I don't need developers bending the knee to me to make games for me. I will find the games that fit my lifestyle the way I want to play them and the way it's intended for the developer and their artistic vision to make them.
They're not asking you to give them an easy mode and make it easy for them to get through. They're asking for a version of the game that can be played with their particular disabilities, so they can still enjoy really hard games as well.
Stop trying to make every game appeal to every person, because it doesn't work. It never has, and it never will. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the situation. I will link both these videos below if you guys want to check them out, because to me it's a fascinating situation. I know Alanah is trying to speak with the best intentions. I feel like it came across completely wrong and ultimately hypocritical. OhNoItsAlexx, I feel, had a great take on this, and I want to say thank you to him to bringing it to my attention. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button, and if you want more information on the situation, check out smashjt.com. I will link this article in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
No accessibility whatsoever, because I want to be able to play Elden Ring the exact way that I want to be able to play it. And I feel like those people are shooting themselves in the foot, because what if they get one of those temporary, situational, or short-term disabilities? You break your wrist, you're not going to be able to play Elden Ring. You have a kid, suddenly you can't play Elden Ring. Like, I feel like they say it when they don't have disabilities, but in 10 years, when you do have some kind of disability, I feel like you're going to retroactively kind of regret that you were like, absolutely not, don't change anything.
That'll do it. That's a disability. Ah!
Smash, J,